walking to the back gravel lot where all the junk is, thinking they can come up on a deal, right? Well, have them at least, just be mindful of how those cars are parked. Don't be looking all haphazard in the recon area. And also the frequency of the line shift and arrangement patterns. How to speak to the street. Are your cars parked the same old boring way every day for years and years? Just people going and it's just like they're hypnotized mode passing by your lot? I shift mine around once a week. It's how I speak to the street. People passing by, if you just shift everything around that day, people passing by will think you sold 20 cars that day. And it makes the car lot look and feel alive. It draws people into the storefront, but more importantly, it creates a notification, not a social media app notification, but humans recognize patterns. It creates a notification up here in the mind. And so, doing just that, it will cause them to go home and satisfy their curiosity notification by clicking on your social media. That's all I'm saying with that. Of course, how the cars are presented, the uniform standard stickering, how do y'all do it? I would suggest, however you do it uniformly. Have a consistent way that you're stickering and picturing your cars. The windshield year slogans, the rear badging plate frames. The rear badging plate frames is a great way to market your dealership, but don't overdo it, guys. I see some dealers, they'll get a whole vinyl decal going on the back across the back glass, and I just believe it's tacky, but however you do it consistently. In the ground lot and appearance. Guys, y'all came all the way out here to Las Vegas to hear me tell you need to go back to your car lot and cut the grass. For real. It's all about setting the stage for online. A restaurant that wants to get good reviews and word of mouth, they don't. The sticky floor is bad to them. The glass on the outside of the building. Pressure. Many of you may, take a third party, dissociated look at your car lot. Does the building need pressure washing? Do the grounds need pressure washing? Make it a good-looking place. But not only how it looks during the day, but how it appears at night. Because a lot of your customers are coming, passing by at night, and there's definitely opportunity right there. For us, we're in a pretty good area where we don't have to have a car prison type fence, and so a lot of times I'll find the customers, they'll feel more comfortable with their initial visit just going after hours or on a Sunday to look at the car lot. And for us on the window stickers, there are window sticker pages you guys can print off on a laser printer and put them on the outside. I don't know, for me, many years I used to print them off on regular paper, put tape on them. But yeah, the QR codes, some of the window stickers come with QR codes. Your customer can scan it right there. And some creative lighting. Pressure wash, clean. That's my guy James, been working with me many years. And the front line, that's what I have in my front line, just consistent, stickering, and trying to put the best foot forward. And of course, a whole roll full of Honda and Toyota, it sends a subliminal message to the customers about the type of kind of cars they want to keep. And that's what I'm talking about at night. Luckily where I'm at, the codes aren't really busting on the colors of and I kind of snuck them in during the Christmas time. The color LEDs, but just making the place look nice. And also kind of have an alien theme going on there. Alien theme, just to distract the wonder and imagination. You gotta appeal to the senses when you're selling cars. Appeal to the senses. The old school way was have them smell the car, have them sit in the car, feel the car, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, you gotta also appeal to the sense of wonder and imagination for the customer. So the office vibe, have clean and inviting experience. Customer parking is crucial. It's important that the customers have an area to park when they come in. And a comfortable area to park. Do your customers come park in, and as soon as they do, there's some guy just sitting there with cigarettes, staring at them, getting out of the car? To be mindful of stuff like this. The storefront glass. There was one time talking about sticky floor restaurants. Rarely ever would my family want to go to an IHOP because all the ones around where we're at got sticky floors and terrible service and all this other. But I remember going to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and rolling up to the IHOP. One of the first things we saw was they were wiping the store glass. They were cleaning the storefront glass. Simple as that. It was a good omen for the great experience that we were to have inside. So the interior feel, you have to be mindful about the noise. It's not about only the CNN and stuff playing on TV, which I hope you guys are not doing it, because it also creates many other issues, but, the peripheral visual noise. Like, do you guys have like a whole board full of keys or something, or do you guys have parts scattered around, or do you guys, clean that up? Do the customers have a nice area to sit? Is your couch one that you would invite your sons and daughters to sit on? And of course, a private area to do underwriting, it's important. Buyer pay your customers a lot of times will come in, you want to speak with them about the status of their account. You don't want them to be, uncomfortable about the discussion if they're in your shop with somebody else. Something, violating the privacy and all that could also equate to that social media take. Red velvet ropes. Little umbrellas, little things inside the office, little automotive, little Persian rug, just little touches and make it feel like it's a car lot. And my brother-in-law also had a car lot close to my dad's lot when I was growing up, and a lot of times I would escape the lot and find my refuge at his lot. And his lot was beautiful. Inside it had murals on the walls, like hand-painted mural, and had a display case full of die-cast toys and cars, and it was just a magical experience. And that's kind of I guess a lot where I get my inspiration from. And I also have another take on where I find my social media kind of inspiration from that I'll share with you. So. The approach and attitude. So you've made a blooming flower of a car dealership. Okay? Your car dealership, all pretty, the blooming flower. You got them all excited. And you got the bees all sugared up. They're at your car lot straight buzzing. And now is the time to make some honey. The honey, to me, is where I get my kicks in the business. I love the sweet honey. What is the honey? The honey is a product with incredibly long shelf life. It lasts nearly forever. What is the honey? The honey is the memories of the moments of magic you give your customers. The thrill of a sweet deal will be fleeting. The fond memory of a pleasurable experience and how you make a customer feel will last a lifetime. A warm welcome is crucial to the customer experience. Even if it's the FedEx guy, even if it's a previously repo customer, it is important to give a warm welcome. Introduce yourself, share your name, get their name, give your card, get their name, remember it. I talked about Ritz Carlottin. There's one anecdote I'd like to share with you about my experience going to that hotel. Is I pulled in my car to the entrance, the valet, and the valet comes up. He opens the door and says, "Hello, Mr. Davachi. How are you doing today?" I hadn't even checked in, y'all. How did they know my name? Wow, I was wowed. I remember it. I'm out here up on this stage telling y'all about it. They knew my name before I even got there. They took my luggage, whatever. I go to the front check-in desk. they're not asking me for my ID and who I'm at, who I am to check me in. They know. Just like when a customer's coming there to make a payment, you say, "Hi, Mr. Ortiz, how you doing, sir? It's great to see you again today. Paying cash? Okay, cool." It's the wow experience. Just, even as simple as just knowing them by name. It's all about courteous service. Actions like unlocking, when you're showing a car, unlocking the door and opening it for them, presenting it to them. Just some simple stuff like that. Offering them something to drink. Speaking with friendly verbal and body language. Just being courteous. Another experience I had at Ritz Carlottin Hotel is when I ordered room service. They brought the room, the order, they carted it out. They kind of put it to where I was sitting. But then also, without even me having to ask, they turned the TV and they tilted the TV in the position where it was facing where I was sitting. And it was just a nice little courteous touch. Didn't ask for it, but it's just giving a little bit more moment of magic. Wow moments in my dealership are I'll drop a few gifts or merch or something along the process. Even handing them something like my business card. I kind of go the extra mile to give a nice business card. And I got plenty of them to give out. I got something that is a little bit different than everybody. And I got my cell number on the card too, guys. How many of y'all will put your cell number on the card? Good. Because if they really want to tell you something, you're gonna hear about it sooner or later. Y'all might as well hear about it sooner. And that'll also, having that type of open communication with your customers will stop a negative review from, brewing to begin with. Okay? So, in my call, I'll create a wow moment of simply just giving them a piece of merchandise. Like, I'll sit them down to do the application. "Hey, man, well, what's your favorite color?" "Blue." "All right, cool, man. I got something for you. I'll be back in a second." I go to my big box of pens and I get a blue pen. "Hey, Chris, presenting to you the 2025 limited edition Leader Dealer's pen." It just creates a little moment of magic, I also give them a little tumbler, I give them, a little bit more than just the car. And so I try to create a great experience for them throughout the whole process. It's actually one of my mentors, Mr. Jerry Bowers. Yeah, he bought a Honda Pilot that day for us. So online presence, the website, your inventory feed. Does your DMS automatically upload and update the website? Many of them do. I would suggest you have that seamless updating from inventory from DMS to website. Connecting with third-party listing services. The ones I subscribe to and I do are cars.com and OfferUp. I do get some traction, some leads. I do have some sales that I accounts directly to those. I'm not knocking anybody others, and I don't even know if those are absolutely crucially necessary, but I got it. Good photos. Prices listed. This is just a suggestion, guys. I suggest you list your prices. Customers that imagine you're going to sit down to a restaurant and the restaurant doesn't have no prices on the menu. That thing is going to be way too much money. Same goes for the buyer, pay your dealer, man. These guys are working on a budget. You don't show your prices. How are they going to? Why are you not even giving them the opportunity to mentally negotiate with themselves first? Just my suggestion. It's just how I do it. I also suggest that if you have the ability to, let your vehicles stay on your website on inventory and say sold for a good period of time. You want to imagine the number of calls I get, "Man, I was coming to buy that car. I seen y'all sold it." I'm like, "All right, cool. Well, I got something else coming up, man. I'll let you know about it. Come take a look at it." And so the photo tips. Use a watermark. There's a lot of fraud going on recently with people stealing photos and doctoring them and posing as actual dealers. So, but also branding your product, I would suggest you use a watermark on your photos and have a consistent backdrop. Like, take the photo, not just wherever it sits on the lot, but pull it up to a certain common spot. Take the consistent photos. Ideally, the same photographer. For me, I know I got a rhythm on how I'll take the photos, and it turns out to be about 20 photos how I do it. I've seen some dealers tuck into like a text page or something, but then I've also heard that gives you a ding on the algorithms and everything. But it'd be cool because a lot of the third-party listing websites will not have all the information that's available on your website, like the qualifications and your program and all that. And so you could theoretically put in one picture on that photo reel of your car explaining all that, and that would also automatically get pushed to the third-party listing websites. So the first place that the customers will usually look at your website on is their phone, right? Phone. This is the mobile version of my website. Wayne Reeves does it. It's not that expensive. But what do I have in the beginning at the top is just like the little widget from the Instagram. That's really what I want my customers to first see. If you look at the desktop, that's how the inventory looks. They all have the same backdrop. They all have the same sticker and picture. They all have watermark. They all have prices. Some of them say sold. In there, I'm not usually a fan of listed down payment, but I kind of have began to again. And in it, I always say I suggest 20%. Now that's just my formula. And I got it there. So it's same, it's consistent. Same consistency. Online presence, the Google business page. Y'all, first, make sure that the listing is officially claimed and owned by you. If you're using any marketing or other third-party company other than yourself, be sure that you have full admin access to the page, and they don't have any opportunity to pull the rug out from under you to hold the page on. The phone number, the street address, the website link, you can link to your website from their reviews. When is it appropriate to ask for a review? Some companies want to hound the customer for a review before or after. Some people have QR codes or some sign that tells customer to do it. My personal approach is more organic and restrained. Sometimes I make a push for reviews. Like this past winter, I had a nice list. I kind of like mentally set aside $2,000. I'm gonna give like $2,000 to my customers back or whatever. And so I told them, hey, you're on the nice list for the good customers that I rarely get to interact with. Hey, you're on the nice list this year. Leave a good review. I'm gonna give you $100 off your next note or something. And I've done that before, but I've also, plenty of just natural reviews. Negative reviews are not necessarily always bad, guys. All right? A good response to a negative review can add you way more credibility than 10 good reviews. And so negative reviews, I believe, are not necessarily always bad, guys. Just curious, has anybody had any experience with the companies that say that they can remove reviews? No? Nobody? No? Yeah. There is a way to remove a review if you can report it. So, if there is a review where somebody's customer is kind of like bad-mouthing, or if they clearly have a vendetta, or it's a disgruntled ex-employee or a competitor, or they're cursing, or if they're even calling one of your employees' name, and you can just report that review. Don't reply to it, but try to report it. And it could get removed. I do have some reviews that I'm not really sharing with you. Right now. If anybody